have my own company as well, consultancy. We fill rooms, we fill Zooms on a global scale. And I've got global contacts in about 40 countries worldwide of particular influence. So that's why we have teamed up to create the perfect marriage, really, in the business sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an interview style webinar. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, key questions, and then please feel free, if you want to ask a question to Hadrian during the course of the session, just raise your virtual hand, and then I will pass the mic to you guys to interact. Yep. So Hadrian, this is how to invest, how to relocate, but you also help people set up businesses in Dubai, don't you? So let's start with
yes.
Let's start with the a little bit of background about you, if you don't mind, just to how we got Sovereign, and then we'll go into the thick of the actual content.
Absolutely, and thanks, Victoria. So, as I said, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Sovereign Worldwide Real Estate LLC. It's a mainland company based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It was started in 2020, so it's during the pandemic. But my journey towards starting Sovereign, it goes back quite a long way, actually. In terms of my family history, my family, the Tulk family, have been in property for over 200 years. If you look at, there's a very famous case in English case law called Tulk and Moxey in 1848. So that's all about the covenants that run with the land in the UK on UK property. So property is literally in my blood. We've had a lot of principles passed down to us over the years, and it's for he or she who chooses to use them and apply them. And I thought in my life, by going out to Dubai and working as a lawyer in the DIFC, one of these full-service international law firms in 2017 and 18, I would then be able to sort of make some of those visions a reality for myself as well. And that's where the idea of Sovereign really started to crystallize, because I was very passionate being a lawyer, and by my day trade, I have been a civil servant for the government as well in a diplomatic capacity, but I wanted to be of service in a different way to people, and I could see in Dubai there was a real need for people who were coming over, and as particularly people from the UK, but from all over the world. We had clients coming to us from all over the world who not just wanted to relocate with their families. They obviously want to buy real estate. That was the first port of call, whether it's an investment or it's just a family home. Or now it's more recently, it's more like rent to rent, but they wanted to relocate their entire lives. They want to set up satellites for their businesses or incorporate their HQ in Dubai. And these are all the things that I was doing as a lawyer. So I decided to take, a blend of all of my experiences and principles, developed my network in the UAE, which I've been developing for 8 years, and developing my team of super agents working as part of Sovereign. And then fast forward to today, I've been going for 4 years, coming into our 5th year. Really, really happy to hit that milestone, and we are just working around a very unique kind of concierge package that you won't see with other real estate agencies. So we're your A to Z, and Sovereign's designed to be your one-stop shop for everything around purchasing real estate in Dubai, whether it's visas, immigration, schools for your children if you're relocating. We have the complete package of being able to offer those services. So everything you could possibly think of is catered for. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about Sovereign. I hope that will give you an idea, but I'm always happy to say more. That's just a little bit of an overview. So back to you, Victoria.
Thank you, Hadrian. And it's very rare to have a person of your caliber academia in a real estate role. I believe that's quite a unique proposition in itself. So hopefully that gives everyone a bit more peace of mind that we've got somebody who's very compliant and likes to do things properly. On the call here today.
I should add as well that we have we're fully RERA licensed, and what RERA is basically the national standard for Dubai real estate brokerage. It's a mandatory requirement, and there's a regulatory framework that out in Dubai that everyone has to go to. So I have to pass exams, I have to sit them every year. My team do as well. Make sure that's good. We pass the exam, so our knowledge is always fresh, and it's up to date with in line with all of our experts. with us. Or the technology failed us.
Looks like it, Adrian.
Goodness me, David. There we go. Well, we'll wait for Victoria to rejoin. So, very rarely do I see a Zoom fail. It is one of the Dubai-friendly platforms as well. So it's when we're planning to, I'm supposed to be sitting on a nice balcony in Dubai, but so I've just got my here in the UK.
Am I back now? Can
Hi,
you see?
Victoria.
Hello.
Yeah,
sorry about that, guys. Right. Okay. I don't have you finished that segment? Yeah?
I have indeed.
We've got a few more people and move on to the juicy part. Right. So let's talk about investments first of all. Why give us like the top reasons why one would invest in Dubai right now?
Okay. It's a good question, and I'm conscious I've got people from different parts of the world on this call. So for various different reasons, I'm not going to just tailor this to one particular country. This is what exploratory calls can all bring up. After this call, if you want to contact me, you want to come in, have a follow-up chat, we can talk about what's unique to you. Generally speaking, guys, Dubai as a market, there's a lot of conceptions around it. So hopefully these points will bring you into some kind of clarity here. Dubai is one of the safest places in the world, first and foremost, to do business and as well as to live. So firstly, to do business. It's very heavily influenced by, and speaking as a British lawyer here, English law, English international trading principles, international corporate law, and international contract law. So these principles are what the UK has been well renowned for. It had a very big impact globally by its legal system, and that goes back to UK's history. But it's really been sits at the heart of the framework of doing business in Dubai. Okay, so it's really helps with this kind of cosmopolitan this identity that Dubai has developed on top of its traditional principles that it has, being an Islamic state. So it's very, very open, and it's very, very tolerant, it's very open-minded, very safe to do business, very, very easy to plug in as a business and to do that very easily. The second thing is obviously the tax incentives, and people on this call might like that. Very, very low state of tax. To full transparency, they have got a 5% VAT now, which is barely noticeable. For those in the UK, that is significantly less than what we're paying here. And I think you'll know that what with inflation, how it's been. If anyone, I know a few people I saw joining from India, tax implications there considerably higher than the UK. It's about 30%, if I'm not mistaken. So in Dubai, when you have income tax, there is no such penalty at all. There's no kind of tax implications. If you buy a property, there is no capital gains tax. I mean, when you sell on your property, you don't have to pay anything on what you've gained on the value of your property going up over time. It does have other features as well. If you're a family on this call are looking to move across to Dubai and relocate your family there, schools from all over the world, so US colleges, Canadian colleges, UK colleges as well, and British schools, British law schools, and colleges are moving across to Dubai. There's a lot of schools from India, of course, also setting up in the UAE, and this is largely just a reflection of this broad demographic. All these different cultures that are moving to Dubai and are making their homes there. It's being reflected in that infrastructure. So people can literally bring their lives across and still ensure that the next generation is going to get world-class education, which is great. Healthcare is also one of the best in the world at the moment, because Dubai is really a center for pushing the boundaries with medical technology. So it's again, depending on which country you're from, again, you'll be well looked after in the UAE as a resident if you were to invest there, or if you were to set up a business there. These are all things that you would get as part of a package, and very, very lucrative. So the UAE wants to look after you, and they very much can deliver with the infrastructure that it has. And then in terms of setting up a business and buying real estate, I say the two are always locked together. So if you are looking at buying real estate and you're looking at investing, why is it such an attractive place to be, and why is it such an attractive market? Well, compared to anywhere else in the world at the moment, major markets like London, you've got LA, you've got New York, the major milestone markets, like you've got Hong Kong as well, Singapore, some of these really big markets where property is. London is actually the most expensive in the world per square foot. But Dubai, in terms of return on investment, is not only significantly cheaper, but with a much higher return on investment. And a return on investment, guys, what I mean by that is, obviously how much you then make on your investment when you want to go and sell it on. If you want to sell a property in London, that would be about 6%. Other countries, it may vary. The US is about the same. It's kind of same kind of metric. In the UAE at the moment, and particularly Dubai, the minimum is 9%. And if you look at other areas, which we'll go into later on the call, it can be as high as 12 and 14%. Couple that with the fact, guys, obviously there's no tax implications, and there's no capital gains tax. What I'm saying to you is, for a long-term development now, Dubai's matured both as a country and as a real estate, as a real estate hotspot in the world. That is the place that you go, not just for a short term. It's maybe not even a midterm anymore. It's more looking for, if you want to really put your roots down there, and if you want to explore an opportunity that's going to pay you dividends for the long term, it would be really, really beneficial for you to go and invest in that market. Lots more that can be said. I think there's a lot there for you guys to take in. So I'll stop it there. Victoria, do rein me in.
Sorry, no, it's good. It's good information, but I think now I'm going to drill down a little bit. So I'm an investor, and I say, right, Hadrian, it's my first investment other than my own house. What's the minimum level I should be looking at raising in terms of capital, number one? And number two, what's the process? Talk us through the process and how streamlined it is working with Sovereign.
Absolutely. Thanks, Victoria. And that's a great question. Sorry, someone else trying to? No. Do let us know in the chat if you want to have any comments and things as well. I know Victoria's going to be keeping.
Just start. Yeah, put your hand up, and I'll let you ask the question.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just stimulating the session.
Yeah, that would be my own voice of the entire thing. It's supposed to be so we'll have it interactive as well. So yeah, that's a good question. And I'll give you like a case study example. So I always talk about entry points and levels of accessibility for Dubai real estate. Okay. And a lot of people might be a bit daunted by coming to a new market. What does it entail? What a mortgage is like? Obviously, as and when we're joined by one of our agents, Yogesh, he's much more in the weeds with mortgage principles than me. But you don't actually need to even finance a property as you would maybe in a traditional market. And there's a whole heap of principles around that. The simplest way of doing things is a minimum level of capital, I'd say, for if you're coming in as an investor looking to maybe have a very basic level. If you want to rent a property, be it as an Airbnb, so as a rent to rent on that kind of model, or if you want to just have like a longer term passive income streams. I mean, so that's money while you sleep, guys. People, you just got a tenant, someone's living in the property, and they're just paying you rent, which is very high in Dubai now, and you can increase it by up to 40% every year if you want to, depending on the location, because the salaries are so high in Dubai, and the wage increase is very steady, right? So I would say the minimum amount that you'd need is between £50,000 and £60,000, and that includes the fees that you have to pay that are to the land department. So it's that controls all of the land that in Dubai and regulates, or it's the regulator, and it regulates Sovereign as well. You have to pay them a 4% fee, and that's that figure that I've given you there, Victoria, includes all of what you'd need to buy a very, very nice 1-bedroom and with a pool, I might add, on a private balcony. And that example is in Dubai South. So if you could tell me a place we can get that in the UK, I'd be really, really open all ears to hear it, because I am a property investor in the UK as well. I have my own portfolio. I have not seen anything like that from my side at all. And so that for those who are working with US dollars, probably around about 70,000 USD. And again, that's total of the fees that you need to pay the land department. So that is relatively speaking, a very low entry point, all things considered, and you can even finance those options. Now, here's the beauty of what Sovereign does. Most of these properties come in on what's called like a payment plan, because as you may or may not know, guys, Dubai is being developed at a rapid pace. A lot of these buildings, even though they've been built, they're still selling the units. A lot of these buildings haven't been built, and you're buying for something that's going to be built in a year's time, maybe even 2 years' time. So you're buying ahead of time. You're securing your investment ahead of time for when it's ready. So normally the average deposit in the market now, in the pandemic, it was 10%. Now it's 20%. Sometimes some developers would ask for 25%. And then a very, very small payment plan after that. So some developers now will then ask you for that level of deposit up front. And then after that, you could be paying 1% per month, little as 1% a month, okay, for that property as you then go along to post handover. So post handover basically means, after you've put down the deposit, and if the property is complete, you can rent it out right away. If the property isn't complete, you pay for it up until you get the keys, and then of course you rent it, and then it begins paying for itself, and you're making a pure profit on that. And I'm still using the 1 bedroom as an example. For one on a £60,000 or $70,000 deposit, you could be making at least £700 a month clear in terms of profit. So that's, again, in dollars, forgive me for my rough US dollar USD conversion, so closer to about $800 a month. Okay, and that's on a very, very low level investment. On a rent-to-rent kind of model for Airbnb, you can make up to 1,000 dirhams a night. So it's a really, really nice way of if you're into that model and you're a bit more of a hands-on investor, that is really quite impressive compared to a lot of the hotspots in the world. It's on par with places like New York and London. But the payment plan is basically, Victoria, the process, and that's how these developers have really made the name for themselves, and how people feel comfortable coming into the process. Because people don't want like these very long-winded solutions, protracted, and lots of mortgages, and it's the red tape. It's actually you're working directly with the developer. It's regulated by the land department. So every month, you're paying a property payment plan. But sometimes where Sovereign comes in is we realize everyone's needs are different. Sometimes people might not be able to pay for 6 months or 9 months the next installment, or they may have other things going on, or if you're moving your life to Dubai, there's other considerations. Everyone's situation is different. So what Sovereign can do is not only just fight for the best units for you because of our relationships with developers, we can also help you in tailoring the payment plans as well, and making sure that we have a plan that's right for you. So if it's not 1%, you might want to pay another 10% in 6 months' time. We can do that, and we can negotiate that and have that sit-down discussion with the developer, and we can work with them and leverage those relationships that I've spent a very long time building, as well as my team, to get you the best possible deal that works for you and the structure of your investment. So Sovereign is very much solution-focused in that regard. The final point I'd add is when it comes to management afterwards and aftercare, we work with developers very closely to make sure that you can have someone to bring in if you want to bring in a tenant right away. So from the moment you want to start making money on your investment, we know we've got someone turnkey, and the second you get the key in your hand, we know we've got someone ready to put in the property, and you start making money right away. On a rent-to-rent, Airbnb model, we don't support that actively. We're not an Airbnb company, but we could support with that. And I've been through that in my own property journey. Our team have as well, so we can help support you in setting that infrastructure up in Dubai if you're not sure on how to do that. So there's a little bit of an overview. I'm happy to take questions, but yeah, I'll pause there.
Great. I was just going to say, does anyone want to ask a question at this juncture?
Fire away.
Fire away, David, perhaps.
Yep.
Yes. So your minimum of like about 60,000 are your investment?
That's right. Yeah, that's it. And I'm giving you this as a place in Dubai, in the south part of Dubai. So it's near, so relatively speaking, near the Palm. So it's at 60,000. Yeah, that's right, David.
Yeah. And with that then as well, then Adrian, like do you charge a fee for like obviously like being a letting agent kind of thing?
For letting, so that's always a one-off fee. That's it's not like it's not like it's too much like the UK. It's a very small like one-off fee. Comes normally the market rate. I normally help people with this because the property journey is more important to me. It's it literally equates to a couple of £100. I mean, I'm conscious there's other people on the call with other different kinds of currencies. So again, it'd be like a few $100, but that's how much we charge, and that's the market rate, the market standard. I always do it well below market standard because to me, that's just part of being part and parcel of the process. It's something that people it's a need. And there's a lot of people out in the market at the moment who are doing that. So actually, for us, we're competitive by saying actually we offer a very, very low price on that. So it's just a management fee. But
So like with the properties, are they in buildings as well? Then are they?
So in buildings, how do you mean, David?
So like flats or apartments.
Yes.
They're in blocks. They're in blocks. I take it. Some of them.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. So that's a really good question. And I can answer that by saying the theme and the trend in Dubai at the moment is you will have these what's called these self-contained communities. I put a lot of these videos up on my TikTok and my Instagram, and these things. I'm getting a lot of my team to go in, and I'm reviewing these properties all the time.
Yeah.
They'll create think of it like a big master community. So the whole theme is big community because they want to get everybody mixing together, big melting pot of cultures. Really love the idea. But each building is designed to give you everything you need in one building. If you wanted to have a supermarket, a nail salon for a partner or something like that, or just a spa and a gym and a supermarket, you've got all of these things under one roof. Childcare now is a very, very popular one that's coming into a lot of these buildings. So if you've got a family, you can take your children down to level 2, and there's a creche there for your kids, or an outdoor cinema specifically to the children, and one for adults. They're designing it with people in mind, so it's all under one roof. Self-enclosed, like almost like you can have it in a silo if you want to live in that sort of bubble. If you want to go outside, you've got forests and communities, and depending on where you are investing or buying in Dubai, you could have the river around you, you could have a man-made lagoon or a natural lagoon around you. It depends, but that's my point. So it's like that's the trend is up, build quite high, and that's just happening all over the world in all these markets because that's the way it's going. But for villas, it's the same kind of thing. You've got villas and townhouses and those kind of communities as well. If you have an appetite to live in those kind of communities and living in a bit more of a villa space sort of thing. No,
that's good. And then is it management charge for when you're in there as well?
So no, that's mainly those charges for renters. That's normally what you have to pay is to the land department. It's based on those charges when you rent a property. What we do is they have a fees based on the square footage of the property. That's how they work it out. Okay, it's good. I mean, it's fine because it's very different to say. I know you're from the UK. It's very different to our model. But it's like a peppercorn that you pay. So and that just keeps ticking over because I said there's no tax. I said, but that's the way. Obviously, it's, as I said, Islamic country, and obviously there's a lot of Western law over the top of it, but fundamentally they don't believe in the concept of interest, and that is a principle that's enshrined in. This isn't a religious discussion. It's in the cultural preferences of the country. So we don't do that, and that's actually an advantage. Because actually your asset's going to pay itself off very quickly. You don't have interest. It's not, so it's paying itself off quite quickly, depending on the level of deposit you put down, of course. But the fees are very low. It's a peppercorn, and that's the way they kind of get around it. So, okay, we know we're going to make the money on the real estate. We know that people are investing in the quality of the market. We know we've got the supply. We know there's the demand. So if people are renting, then we'll just have a very little fee, and then you pay it to the land department. So Yeah, that's it. So for us, we don't charge a lot for that at all, because for us we just see it as part of aftercare, and that's just to look after our priority is to get you the investment that suits you. And just to answer the question in the chat, yes, you can pay using cryptocurrency. Almost all developers now have a platform that they can use, so it can be wallet to wallet, or you can translate to fiat currency if you want, if you like. Sovereign can do it with some of our partners. Just to be clear, everyone, I will say that Sovereign does not do escrow accounts, so we don't keep client funds on our own account. We don't do that as a service. Excuse me. But yeah, so what the developers, our work around what we do is we've partnered with agencies who use cryptocurrency platforms that are licensed and regulated, or we just work with developers themselves. So if people want to buy in crypto, you can do it directly with them. And again, guys, I can work on your behalf to then negotiate how that's going to work. And I do have a client at the moment. I've got two clients actually who are working on that at the moment. One's a fairly large ticket purchase. It's like it's a penthouse. They want a penthouse and they want to do it in USDT. And the other one is a British client, David's. So he's wanting to do it just with the family. It's coming from Essex, and they're coming in. They want to buy upwards of about like 400-500K. I think they're just in some crypto. So they want to do it like that. So we'll just do it with the developer, and we'll do it in a plan that means they're not going to lose money on the transfer. So when they do the conversion. There was another question, Victoria, in the chat. Did I miss that? Apologies. Does someone put a question up in the chat?
Yes, I did, darling. Yes, I want to invest in Dubai. This is from Ring, but I want assurance my money is safe. Where has Mr. Hadrian bought in Dubai? Number one. And can you please share your experience?
I'm waiting for your guest to come on. It's Dubai South.
I'm talking to him now.
Oh, great. So we need to get your guest. Apologies. So this is the world of Dubai. This is the world of Dubai, everyone. It's quite a fast-paced environment. But here we
go. Dubai real estate. That's it, isn't it? Should we get Yoglish in, and then we'll
get him on? But I'll answer the question whilst you're bringing him in, Victoria.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no problem.
A really good question. Dubai South is the way to go. So for me, it's the kind of, I don't need anything more than that. So one bed at the moment. That's all that is needed. And I have my office space in the UAE as well. We have our registered office next to Dubai Mall in Emaar Square. But Dubai South is the place, because for me personally, it's don't want to be in downtown. For me, I spent a lot of time working in downtown. This is just my personal preference as a person. When I went to Dubai, I was working in the DIFC. Hi, Yogesh. That was the downtown, the very big financial hub, the financial district, and I kind of wanted to get out of that. For me, it's all Dubai South, and I know Yogesh is going to be really wanting to dig into that himself. In terms of safety of your money moving across, it depends. If you want to do it with crypto, as I said, like you can do it as safely with wallet to wallet. Dubai is becoming the crypto hub of the world. They're really pushing the blockchain technology. It's not just about the crypto, and this is a misconception. People think it's all about the crypto. So, no, it's not a crypto paradise. It's a blockchain paradise because the technology is constantly evolving in Dubai. And that's part of, when I'm in Dubai, I always go to some of these conventions. I go and speak, on behalf, of real estate developers in Dubai. There's a few people who go with me as well. And we talk about these things. And we said, actually, the blockchain is going to be the way of the future of, transacting and buying property. You can be assured that it's very, very safe in Dubai in that respect. In terms of developers, for people who are looking to buy with like cash method, or like a bank transfer, just a more traditional method, they do have escrow accounts. All the developers have like the escrow accounts into which you pay the money. And then you will obviously get payment confirmation, and you'll have that all written down. It's all of the due diligence that goes around that, and that's where Sovereign guides you through the process as well. We work with you every step of the way on every piece of paperwork that you have to go through, so you can know that your money is not just going to the right place, but it's the right amount. It's to satisfy the right requirements at the right time. That's what we work with you on. In terms of management, Developers pride themselves in offering a lot of the aftercare stuff. So I know David was very, good at sort of giving me some kind of questions on management and aftercare. Yes, so, Sovereign can do it, and we can do it with, if it's much more hands-on, we can do it with one of our dedicated partners who only do management. So that's the way that we can do it. But sometimes what we like to do is we like to cross developers and put our hands together, and we work together to make sure your property's managed. So that could include things like, I don't know, looking after the property in case something, if you're not satisfied with something, or you maybe think it needs a bit more of a, I don't know, something like a lick of paint or something, or you don't like the cupboard door is not like it's satisfactory for you or something. We pride ourselves at Sovereign on making sure that your asset that you're buying, because it is an asset, and for many of you, this will be the biggest investment that you'll make. It's in a new market. We want to make sure it's absolutely where you want it to be. So our job is to make, part of the management is to make sure what you're buying is absolutely fit for purpose, and absolutely we get you the right kind of people who are fit for purpose to come in and actually also treat that property with the same level of respect that obviously that you've obviously put into actually investing it in the first place. So yeah, and Victoria, do you want to?
Darling, yeah, no, thank you. It's really in-depth information. I just think we should, at this juncture, I think I'm going to hand to you to introduce the wonderful Dubai real estate guru.
That's both of us.
and then we can start firing questions at him. Poor man. Right,
yeah,
I'm going to hand that to you.
Yeah, part of our extended team, and he works with a particular developer. So, Yogesh, handing to you, and I'm very, very jealous that I'm still not with you in Dubai. I'm missing our long chats and drinks. But sadly, I'm here at the moment, but I'll be back very soon, as you know, obviously. So, Yogesh is part of the wider team. Over to you to introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Hadrian. Thank you, Victoria, for getting me on this wonderful, insightful webinar. Okay, I'll just give myself a very brief introduction. My name is Yogesh. I work for a very important and a very renowned developer now called Azizi Developments. So just to give myself a little background, I've been in the real estate market for almost 9.5 years now. I've been with Azizi almost 8.5 years of my life. So, pretty much, I think I have seen some partial growth of Dubai happening, the contribution on the skyscrapers. So, I've done pretty much here. And I'm very happy Hadrian and Victoria have organized this webinar. It's very important for all the potential investors for them to know what they're investing into. Properties can be chosen easily, but a lot of rules and regulations which people are very confused about. So it's very important to get on an educative platform like this to have that. I'm just going to give you a little brief about what Azizi as of now is offering and what exactly people have, like the recent investors, what they're looking at. And then probably we can move ahead to address some of your questions, whether it's about the project, whether it's about investing in Dubai or any other rules, mortgages. We can take it up on brief basis, but I think if it has to be detailed, I think Hadrian has to organize another webinar for us to get that in detail.
We most certainly will.
Yeah. Yes. So just to give you a little idea of what Dubai has been buzzing about very recently is this new expansion that has happened towards Dubai South. So I'm sure all of you who know slightly about Dubai, they know it's all about downtown, Burj Khalifa, then Palm Jumeirah, and all these places are what has always been the talk of the town. It always is special, will always remain special. But as an investor, what we are currently seeing the trend to be that people are looking out to the new expansion areas, which is Dubai South. Okay. So Dubai South now is the first place which is going to be having the largest airport of the world. I'm sure all of you must have heard the announcements. The government is investing $1 billion US, which will be adding on to a bigger milestone of Dubai tourism, of businesses, of expansion plans in terms of various other industries. This is there. The other thing that was just very recently launched called Palm Jebel Ali. Palm Jebel Ali as well forms under the same belt. with the success of Palm Jumeirah, Palm Jablali was literally like, it didn't need any promotion. It didn't need any sort of marketing, because it anyhow delivers a major landmark in the development of real estate of Dubai. That's there. The Expo 2020, which recently happened, which is now a very large convention center. So Dubai, if you've seen recently, is holding large summits, conventions. So the current trade center, which is there already present in the central part of Dubai, has not been able to cater to that massive audience that Dubai sees in the future conventions. So recently, the Expo 2020 has been converted into a convention center there. So summarizing this, the whole area has been seeing a remodeling and development. So everybody wants a chunk of a pie here. So that's why they've been pushing towards there. All ourselves, our channel partners, they all understand the need of the hour. And Azizi has come up with a very interesting project there called Azizi Venice. I mean, just as the name says, it's conceptualized on the city Venice. It's a 20 million square feet community. It's got 7.5 kilometers of water, beach sides, a Dubai Opera, and lots of other things. I mean, we can take that on some time once you believe that the area is interesting enough for you to invest. But let's stick to the agenda of the call. I mean, I believe a lot of you have questions in terms of investing in Dubai. So I'd be happy to take that up. So please.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's one in the chat.
Yeah, there's one in the chat. I think maybe that's for you, Hadrian. Do you want to quickly answer that one?
What was that? Because it pops up on my screen, and
Yeah,
so I'm in your hands to guide me. Sorry.
So Liga, L-I-G-A, I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Thank you. How many properties you own / manage currently? That was the question.
So for myself, it's just I don't need that for myself. It's just the one in my office space, and in Imar Square, so next to Dubai Mall. In terms of management, as I said to you earlier, a lot of the clients that we've had coming through have chosen to have them managed exclusively by the developer post handover, and some people have chosen to go down that road purely because, and I've taken no offense to it at all, which is it's fine. They just want to keep it in with the developer. So I've negotiated the arrangement for who will come in, if people will come and clean the property. The kind of the checks for the engineers who will come in on the property and have a look at the property after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years on a schedule to check just to be sure that everything's okay. For me, I only really need to do it with a couple of clients who are very, very new. So they bring their families over and they might want a little bit of extra help, or someone who, I mean, I was talking about like the JVC area or Arjan area, Dubai, these kind of areas in Dubai South Yogesh was talking about. People who are new investors, people may be looking to set up the rent-to-rent model. I just help them with that, and then they go on their own way with that, or I help them get an initial tenant in and teach them the process. Rather than I'm not that kind of person who is going to sit there and just keep charging for that sort of thing. I said, if you teach someone to fish, then they'll be able to feed themselves for a lifetime. If you're always fishing for the person, I mean, it's just not the kind of framework that I wanted. That I wanted to take up as a business. But I'm always there if people do want the help to have it managed when they want. So I only really do it with a couple of clients at the moment that have asked me specifically for that service. But we always offer it. We're always offering it.
It's basically a very tight luxury concierge business that you're providing here, real estate concierge business, isn't it? So right. you're literally hand-holding the investor through the process. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So it's not an unusual model in Dubai. That's how I've chosen to build it, because I realized from my own experiences of living in Dubai, it can be, as I've said at the beginning of this call, quite daunting and quite scary for some people. Yes, I absolutely can. I can do. If you want to set up a consultation call, I know Victoria might be able to pop a link in the chat. I might be able to do it at the end. You can book a consultation with me one-on-one. We can have a chat. Or
I'll pop your email address into the chat, and if everyone emails you direct for one-to-one, that's probably the right way forward. Would you say?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. I think that's the right way forwards, and I can pick up some of the questions afterwards. Just in terms of the question that's just come up in the chat, I normally like to stay in different areas over the summer. because I love the heat in Dubai. I really love the weather. Sometimes I use that time in the summer to just be around here, like I am in London at the moment, for friends and family. Then I tend to head back in maybe July, August. So I've got my team out in Dubai who are happy to work with you. So I've got a team of, I said at the beginning of this call, of agents who work up there and people who work with us, and good friends who are also part of the super team. So Yogesh are out there as well, who can do that. So I'm at the moment, I probably won't be there until probably the beginning of August again, but that's not very far away. Can you believe we're 6 months into the year already, guys, which is absolutely crazy. So it really will come around quite quick. So we can start having those calls in the meantime. If you want to meet one of my team in Dubai, absolutely no problem. Then you'll be in safe hands, as you would be with myself. Happy to take it from there. So, but conscious we've got Yogesh as well, and we might have some exclusive things we can do with him today, because such is the relationship that we have, and Sovereign is all built around its relationships, and it's your sovereignty as an investor. We want you to invest and be comfortable. So we've got the right kind of people with us today in Yogesh. So Yogesh, Victoria.
I'd like to address a question that was asked before about managing of properties. So I'd like just to give you an input from the developer's perspective. So how things work here is, so basically, if you're buying a property from, for example, Azizi, so we take care. We're a one-stop solution ourselves as well. Of course, we have our channel partners as who are working with us and specifically for their clients. But in terms of services that we give to our clients is, we make sure that in case if you need your apartment to be leased out, in case you need any help with financial things. For example, a lot of overseas clients are not aware that they are eligible to take mortgage up to 60% of the property value. So these are all the things that we take care of. So for example, if you're buying a property from us, from step number 1 to getting your booking forms, to getting your SPAs done, to getting your Okud, which is the government registration certificate, and then reaching all to the handover, and then after that, when you decide to rent out, or before that, if you decide to take a mortgage. So all these services are taken care by us as well. We've got specific departments here to ensure that the qualified people for the job are doing that job for you. So that way we can do anything. In fact, we've just recently opened up our immigration services as well, which means that, for example, if you buy a property worth 2 million dirhams, which entitles for a golden visa, so we have a team that's going to completely assist you to make sure that you've opened a bank account here, and as well as after that, in order to make sure that your golden visa is stamped based on the property purchase you've made in Dubai. So yeah,
Thanks,
that's the question. Yeah.
Absolutely. I wanted to touch on the golden visa. So the entry point is 2.1 million dirhams now. So really, really good way for you to get. Again, this is another benefit I should have talked about earlier, but I was waiting for your guest to come on to really bounce off him on this. But I know something we always talk about, and that gives you a stable, nice place to be, whatever kind of country wherever we're from in the world today, in a very, very fast growing country for 10 years. And that's with a lot of uncertainty in the world today, guys. And I think this is why people are asking me, like, why Dubai? There's so much uncertainty, but Dubai is entirely very neutral. And without going into anything any broader discussions, having a presence and a long-term visa is really, really advantageous, especially if you're having a business. In terms of bank account setup as well, I know Yogesh was talking about that. That is something Sovereign assists with as part of its business startup package. So it does include bank accounts, startup. We also work with a partner bank that is out of the UK, but has now set up its Dubai offices. And what that allows you to do, if you want to move large sums of money to invest in some of these properties, and perhaps if you want to buy it all in one go, and you're not using cryptocurrency, there is a facility that we have access to through one of our own channel partners that allows us to work with you to set up a bank account. So when you move money across to the UAE, so if your guest was saying you had a Dubai bank account, that can all be set up when you're doing your visa. That is true, but instead of paying a 3 to 4% fee on transferring, whether it's like wiring or Western Union or however you want to do bank transfers, I mean, everyone's got a different preference. this particular banking facility allows you to operate in 190 countries. And it offers you a conversion rate of 0.25%. So that is a way that we've worked with clients before to make these big investments into the Dubai market, and then obviously the developer can do other things with you, as Yogesh said, and something that they can do is they can notarize the visa, because your visa will then be linked to you buying the property, as Yogesh was saying. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Do you have any other questions from anyone, David or Liji or Reem?
For Yogesh?
Questions? Or Yogesh? Anything to add?
There's a question addressed here. What is the relationship between Sovereign and Azizi? I mean, Hadrian, would you want to take this up, or should I just like
both
go ahead?
Both of us, personal and professional, because we're friends, and I said it's also like, you know, and these are people I built, as I said at the beginning of the call before Yogesh came on. I built a lot of relationships over a period of time with a lot of different developers across Dubai, and it's all about relationship building, so we can, you know, get the best unit, the best deals. And you know, because we are close with this, you know, Yogesh, and he's his manager that I knew before him, so we even arrived very, very closely. With Aziz in particular, so if you look at Sovereign Worldwide Real Estate's website, you'll see about part of our team page, or the key members of our team who are there at the moment on the page, who have their profiles listed. We have a non-executive chairman, and that's someone who doesn't have a shareholding in the business, but is in an advisory capacity. This is his name is Farzam Kamalabadi. He is from Iran, but also partly from Afghanistan descent. So the background towards Azizi, I know Yogesh can give more background on Azizi and the background of the ownership, but that's the relationship we have. Is very close because of it in this particular developer. Is because of the people we have around us at Sovereign, and then that obviously allows us to have these exclusive relationships with you know, people like Yogesh. Yogesh's manager is not on the call today, and the very top brass, the very top people at Azizi, to get you the best kind of deals on the property, and we can fight for you to get the best prices, the best payment plans, the best units. That's what we do together. So do you want to add to that, Yogesh?
Yeah. So just to give you add on to what Hadrian said, see, Sovereign and Azizi have been has a long association. Okay, they've contributed in terms of spreading out Azizi's name, whether it comes out to getting the most important clients that they have. So the mutual chemistry that we've built together, and they're now one of our most important channel partners. They come in a very important league of getting their own decisions done for their clients. So they've contributed enough to make sure they've made that mark for themselves. So yes, like Hadrian said, you can be rest assured. Azizi in general as well, and of course with the association of Sovereign, we've built up a thing that if you need some special assistance, see, it's your first step. I mean, you want to take it slow. Let's say you want to just test the waters, you want to put in a small deposit. I'm just giving you some examples which might be relatable. Okay, and you want, like, I want to get these things done, I want this kind of flexibility, I'm an overseas investor, please feel free. Nothing is as strict or as, like, you know, it cannot be bended over. Of course, we value our investors. We ensure that if there is some request that comes in for them, we just don't let it be disregarded. Of course, we'll take it up. So yes, if in the future you want to get in discussions with us regarding some specific projects or units, please feel free to ask any sort of flexibilities or any sort of things that you would want in particular. And believe me, we for surely try. I mean, we don't say we will be able to do it, but yes, we make sure that we do try for you. And if it's doable, of course, we do it. That's perfectly fine for us. Yeah. So yeah, Sovereign and us have been a long-term partners. So we've done a lot of business to know that what values we can create for our potential investors.
That's exactly that, value creation. So Victoria.
I've just seen another question from Liji. Can you provide tax advisor? I have read no tax on crypto in Dubai.
So we don't, just to be clear, obviously a Sovereign is not licensed to do the tax advice, of course not. I mean, when I was in practice with the law firm, perhaps I was actually working with their corporate and tax department, but that is not something we're licensed to do, nor is it something that we do. I mean, again, it's a real estate company. We do have a broad, like a big like package of services, but that's not one that I do. I don't do the tax advice beyond giving the basic levels of knowledge that I can share with people. So yes, I do. I do have several companies that I've worked with over the years when Sovereign was a lot younger, and now when it's matured, I have two that and I rely on very much and tried and tested and proven. So yes, no, there isn't a tax on crypto in Dubai. This is why so many people are doing it over there, and they're using the advanced blockchain technology in Dubai and all these various different platforms. But as I said, like, and also Yogesh was saying, a lot of the developers jumped on board with this with us, and we've worked out how to do this, and in a way that's, very, very safe. And if you want to do some tax planning and wealth planning, we can certainly get you the right people. Like I said, it's the same with the bank account. We said we have a partner for everything that you need. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's great.
Hopefully that answers the questions there.
Hopefully.
Does anyone else have any more questions about? I think you've really covered quite a lot of this today.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you or Yogesh would like to add?
No, I was
just
I just want to take up tax. Tax is a very interesting subject for people like us in Dubai. So to be honest, we don't know what taxes are, because we don't have any sort of taxes that's applied here. There is no income tax. There's no property gain tax. And I understand in the UK it works in different ways. You've got to find yourself an attorney. You've got to make sure all your papers are checked. But here things are very standardized, and there's no tax implications on any sort of income, of any sort of capital gain. So yes, in terms of taxation, I can give you rest assurance that there is nothing that we do of any sort of taxation. The VAT that is applicable in Dubai is not applicable in terms of property. There's a corporate tax that has been recently applied, but does not apply to property. So yeah, when we're talking about property, we don't talk about any sort of taxation that's going to be affected with the investors, that either they make money or they gain appreciation on the property and they sell it. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we pay the corporate tax. But
Yeah.
welcome, Liji. Thank you very much, Liji. I think there's one thing I wanted to put from my side, because we have Yogesh on the call, and obviously the exclusive things we can do today, if any of you interested in that particular area that Yogesh and I are pushing at the moment, because I know Victoria and I were talking about when we were planning this webinar about some of the top areas in Dubai, and there are some really nice areas, and we obviously take you on that journey, and everyone's got a different preference, but Yogesh and I are very much on the same page. Many investors are on the same page at the moment that Dubai South is the way to go. Do you want to give an idea and explain, Yogesh, a little bit more to people on this call about what like a master community means? Because I did a little bit of sort of talk around that before you jumped on, but do you want to talk about like Venice as an example, as a big community, and the sort of things that go on, and like the activities and stuff that people can get involved in? Like, what does that look like? Because I've talked about it in the narrow sense that there's just like the buildings and the apartments and the villas. Do you want to talk about the master community, what they look like?
See, I'm just gonna give you some statistic figures of how exactly Dubai South is making sense as of now, okay? And why Azizi Venice is topping the chart. I'm gonna speak with facts and figures, which of course can be validated through your own due diligence, or you want me to send you some fact sheets, I'll be more than happy to do that. But just to give you an idea, Dubai, the new airport that's being constructed, there is almost around 265,000 people that is currently and in the future is going to be employed in this airport, okay? And when you talk about 265,000 people, you mean to understand that they need developments around the airport, because airport is a timely based job. You need to be living in close quarters, in close areas, of course, to ensure that you're doing your job well and you've made sure you're reaching on time. That's the factors. So Azizi Venice, in the vicinity of 6 kilometers of the new development of the airport, is the only apartment community as of now. And in the past as well, and in the future, in the near future as well, what we see, we don't see any apartment community coming up, especially the one that will give you a Venetian lifestyle-based project. That's number one. So if you talk about the number of people, 265,000, 75% of them are usually, a single gentleman or a small young family. Townhouses and villas are usually not meant for them, because again, The usability factor does not come and apply to them because they're a small family. They can do it in a studio 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. This is what is number one. Number two, the average salary brackets that have been given to us for the airport is ranging around on 15,000 dirhams, which means again, the rentals for the villas and townhouses around are way more higher. So in terms of affordability, in terms of usability, Azizi Venice, the number of apartments it has, the kind of apartment it has studio 1, 2, and 3. It completely makes sense for an investor to make an investment here. We potentially see approximately a rental ROI of approximately around 11%, which is the base minimum, and then going up all the way to 17, 18%, which is only on rental ROI index. In terms of capital appreciation, if you're an investor who would like to flip before the handover happens, I'm pretty sure you take 2.5 times of what you've invested. And if we see on a value proportion of the value when you take your handover of the apartment, it's supposed to be bare minimum up to around 50 to 60% is what we are currently calculating. So this is done with all due diligence, all calculations, all supply demand chain. We've run all sorts of algorithms that we can, and we've come up to this conclusion. And our last 2 launches, which have been sold out in like 45, 50 minutes, it clearly speaks volumes that the audience has accepted what exactly we've been trying to say. So yeah.
Thanks, Yogesh. And I think so. What we're saying, working with Sovereign, we can actually say today that coming to work with myself and Yogesh, if you're interested in that area, we can get you some exclusive deals and secure the best units that are coming out in this new developments. One of a kind. I really like the Venetian theme as a European, but there's a lot of nice theme things in Dubai. But this is close to a piece of infrastructure. It's going to be the world's largest airport, the Al Maktoum Airport. Dubai is always for that. I know you know those world firsts. Had to have the largest airport, had to have the largest building. They had the tallest with Burj Khalifa and Maidan One Mall that will come out in Dubai Creek. It's going to be the largest shopping center in the world. Dubai Mall is going to be taken 3 times the size. So, but in Dubai South, it's a really good thing that Yogesh said here. He said, your average is correct me if I'm wrong, it's 12% is the starting point for your return on investment. I said before you jumped on the call, Yogesh, across Dubai, because I'm giving a general opinion for people on the call, I have to be fair and I have to give a broad opinion across Dubai is about 9%. So you see, guys, it's an evidence here that depending on where you are, as is the case with property anywhere in the world, location is everything. So we've got this one, of course, it's very close to my heart and very close to Yogesh's. I've worked in many areas, sold in many areas, but I think this one is for various different reasons. It's a bit of a no-brainer project, to be honest. If you're an investor and you're looking at it with no heart or romantic in it, you're just looking at it as cold hard facts to invest, and for the future or even for the short term, this is a really good one. So one of the reasons why we've got Yogesh on the call today, guys, as well as him being a good friend and a good an associate and very close with Azizi, is that we can offer some really exclusive deals for you if you want to follow up with us afterwards. Conscious of people's time and wanting to drop off the call if people have got to leave. And if there's any other questions, happy to just try and wrap this one up. Victoria?
I think we should, absolutely, yeah. And thank you, Reem, shukran to you as well. So thank you for coming. So as we'll wrap up now, just remember to book yourself an appointment with Hadrian on the link he's given. Save the chat by clicking the 3 dots at the bottom right, and you can keep the chat and pick up the link from there. And we've got your details anyway, so we'll surely be in contact with you. But if that's all now, Hadrian, for you and Yogesh, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.